What's up everyone, Karimi here, and today we're going to be reviewing Wartile. This preview has been brought to you by KeenGamer.com, the best place to check out your news, reviews, articles, and so much more. So without further ado, this is an early access game, so it's still not quite finished yet, but I'm just going to be talking about all the good things about it and hopefully some changes in the future. So let's get to the preview, shall we? Let's talk about the story really quick. I actually don't think there's a legit story in this game. While you're playing, you're just kind of thrown into the game with no kind of background or lore or why things are the way that they are or who's your character or why we're playing as him or why we get to choose him. There's not necessarily something we're following. When you play the game, there are a couple of campaign missions, yes, but those have just straightforward missions, and I'm not sure if I think the missions where you as a Viking are conquering the lands, and I think that's the story in and of itself. But I don't think there's actually a concrete story here in the early access version, but probably when the full game comes out, a actual campaign with story, background, lore will be there. Moving on to gameplay. Now, Wartile is a real-time strategy game, and what that means is each map you're on has a lot of spaces, which means that your character can only move a couple of spaces before they can move again. And what you'll do is you'll position yourself in a specific way to either flank an enemy or to have all the people on your team attack one person at a time. And then each character you use has a special ability via using these cards that you can use from time to time to help you when you need help in battle. On the bottom, you'll notice that there are two different looking symbols. One is a treasure chest symbolizing money, and the other, I think I'm calling it a Viking symbol. Whenever you kill someone, you get 1 point. So if you have 5 points, you can actually heal your character or your other characters, whichever has the lowest health. But be sure to use it wisely because you have to gain those 5 points again by killing at least 5 enemies. When you're not in combat, however, you can also find these treasure chests on the map that include weapons, armor, and gold. And this is very important so that you can beef up your player with good equipment so that you don't die in the long run. Last but not least, I want to talk about the customization in the game. In the hub world, you'll actually have to change your character's weapons, armor from which you've looted in the missions. You can also change out their skill card. You can also hire new people to come onto your team, and you can also make them stronger via improving their health, defense, attack, whichever one you want to use. It's a very fun system, and I loved hiring these new guys that will join my team, and I got to change their armor to make them look more badass. It's a really fun system, it's really simple, it's easy to figure out, and it works perfectly. Wartile also does have a multiplayer component in this game. However, unfortunately, when I tried searching twice, there was no one to be found. After waiting for about 30 seconds or so, I just kind of gave up and thought that there was actually no one playing this game currently, but hopefully when the full game comes out that we can get some multiplayer action going on. Now let's talk about the graphics of the game. The graphics of this game are actually really well done. I really enjoyed the fact that there was different variety in the levels and how detailed in its theme that it was representing of that mission, that it just brought it to life when you were playing, and I really felt like the environment kind of had an impact on the experience because of how detailed it was, and it just made it more fun and memorable to play this game. So great job on the developers. I hope when the full game comes out we see even more detailed maps with different themes each time. This was a really well done part of the game that should be given applause for, because I think that for this style of gameplay you really need something to make it stick out more and that it's more entertaining. Lastly, I want to talk about the sound of the game, and in particular it's the fighting. the fighting definitely sounds realistic, as if it truly is a one-on-one or a 3-on-3 kind of fight with Vikings against their enemies. And what's hilarious is after they win, everyone kind of puts their hands in the air in kind of like a hoorah way that they just had a victory. And I thought this was wonderful, and it gave it so much more personality to these Vikings that I truly felt like I was playing as Vikings, legit actual Vikings. That war is just the only thing that they know. Okay, maybe that they don't know, but it's just they're very good at war, and fighting is all that they know. So it was done well here. I'm glad the fighting, it felt more impactful than I thought it would, and it was awesome. In conclusion, Wartile is a fun real-time strategy game because of its challenging combat, its awesome graphics, its cool loot, and it's just an original idea that this real-time strategy board game-like structure is actually a lot more fun than it really looks. Although this is still in early access, it's still a wonderful game that when it comes out, I can't wait to play an entire campaign full of lots of combat and strategy, and it's just gonna be awesome. This preview has been brought to you by KeenGamer.com. My name is Keon Karimi, and I will see you guys next time.